Hey guys, today's the day we are talking about powder foundations. I have gotten into my collection. I have a ton of them. Some of them I prefer more than others, which you can tell by the different shade range that I've got. And I'm going to talk about who it's good for, what kind of application tools you should be using with this sort of foundation, how to get a nice smooth coverage and finish on mature skin. I'm 51 years old. This is a powder foundation. Everything on my face right now is powder, in case you're curious. And how do you come away with that nice, smooth, glowy finish that looks like actually you've done a ton of work with liquid foundation? We're going to talk about the finish of it. We're going to talk about the texture, how to keep it from settling into fine lines, skin prep, why that is key, and what kind of day you might have ahead of you. This is actually going to be a better fit than your liquid foundation. So if you're interested, stick around. We're getting into it right now. Okay, hair's off the face. Let's get into some swatching. You absolutely can swatch powder foundation, and I'm going to show you what that's like on the, I think, 5 different kinds of it that I have here with me. The one I have the most shades in right now is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I have 130, 140, 220, and what I think is 245. So let's just look at what a difference these shades are just real quick. We'll start with 130, and I'm just putting my finger in there, getting it on the tip. 140, 220. This one's actually broken. And 245. Sometimes I will mix these, and I have really great results in that too, just to get kind of like the perfect in-between shade. On this side, I will go in with one that is truly a favorite. All of these are pretty good. Some I prefer more than others, but this is the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour, and this is in the shade 128. I really like this one, but it's delicate. You can see it's broken, and this is, I think I've had this like 2 weeks maybe. Now getting into the more high-end ones, I have 2 of the Laura Geller ones. This one is the Baked Balance and Glow, and this one is the Baked Balance and Brighten. They're both in the shade Light. You can kind of see what that difference looks like, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to really tell it in a swatch. I don't know that it's really all that noticeable in the full application of it on the face and the difference between the 2 different formulas. Do a little bit of another one here. This Laura Geller foundation is really, really nice. I very much enjoy it. And then this is the Glow. It's got a little bit of a shimmer throughout it. I'll say it again, these are supposed to be the same shades, Light and Light, Laura Geller. They're both light. I also really like the Pure formula. It's their 4-in-1 pressed mineral makeup. This one is in blush medium, and this one is in shade Light Clair. To prove to you that I have been using these. Ooh. Very crumbly. So there's Light. This is the medium. And then finally, the last one I have that's actually another high-end one is the Cover FX, and this is their Pressed Mineral Foundation in the shade L2. This one, I haven't fallen in love with it yet. This, if it matters to you, it comes with a little applicator sponge. I don't like those. We'll talk about the different ways to apply them. Sponges are not my thing, but you can see I haven't used this one nearly as much as I have even just the more drugstore ones. And let's swatch this one right here. I think primarily the reason I haven't reached for this much is a shade issue. It looks a little more orange in person than you're seeing on the camera. So that's just a quick swatch of the ones that I have. And now we're going to get into what skin prep looks like for this kind of foundation. Okay, so while I'm getting out my skin prep stuff, this is a huge part of it. You really have to take time to do something with your skin first. You do not want to just go in on a dry face. You really have to moisturize. Moisturizer is more important than the primer too, by the way. Now I had already gone in over my whole face with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Toner and the Dewdrops. They're niacinamide dewdrops. I'm going to hit these 2 sections on my face with just a little bit of that real quick because I just wiped it all off when I cleaned the swatches off. So powder foundation is made or broken by your skin prep. And if you don't do at least just a moisturizer, it's going to look dry and flaky and rough, and it's not going to spread well, and it's just going to be a mess for you. Powder foundation can work just fine on mature skin. You just have to take that time for the skin prep. And if you're younger and you're considering powder foundation, or you're trying to figure out how to make it work, it's going to be the kind of product that works best on normal to oily or like combination skin. If you have dry skin, if you have flaky patches, if you have a lot of acne that you're dealing with, those are not the days to attempt to make a powder foundation work for you. But if you're starting out blank slate like this with remotely decent skin day, I'm telling you, it's gonna look amazing by the end of this and you won't even know that it's a powder. Going in with my moisturizer right now, this is the Rock Advanced Hydration Water Gel. They say this is a dupe for the Tatcha water cream. I don't know, it's a very light formula and it feels nice going on. I don't know that I would say that it's a dupe because Tatcha is like undupable. It's so good. I reach for my powder foundation like if I'm running late and I just need a real quick low maintenance foundation sort of day, I am reaching for the powder almost every time. And it doesn't matter the season, it doesn't matter my skin tone at the time because I do have a good variety of them. Like I have it available for me to use year round because it is that good. Well hydrated skin equals a smoother base, which equals a smoother finish for your powder foundation. I'm telling you, skin prep is 80% of the game here. You want to make sure that you let your skincare absorb fully between layering it with your foundation product, because if you leave it damp and moist like it is right now and still kind of sticky, you're going to have patchy application no matter what kind of tool you use. You can use a lightweight smoothing primer if you want, but moisturizer is truly more important. However, one of the things that I have found that's super helpful with not having it look powdery or cakey, I have a variety of different primers that I can give you as examples here. e.l.f. Suntouchables Woe Glow is a good one. Their Halo Glow Liquid Filter, which if you're looking for the bougie high end, we all know which one that is, and you could use that as well. I even like to do L'Oreal Lumi Glotion underneath it. This isn't necessarily a primer, but I do think this works well with a powder foundation over it, and it helps take away some of that powdery finish. While I'm waiting for this to dry a little bit more, let's talk about application tools. This is my preferred foundation application brush. It's from It Cosmetics. I don't think they make this exact color anymore, so I'll put up here on the screen whatever they have now that's comparable to it. But look at how densely packed these bristles are. This is something that I will go into. You can see kind of the amount of pressure and just buff it out, and it is wonderful. It provides the best application of powder foundation I think I have ever used. You can also, if you want sort of like a light coverage look, you can go in with a fluffier brush and do the same kind of application process. You're just not going to want to use a sponge, definitely not a wet sponge with a powder product, because it's going to damage your product and also the application is going to be really patchy. Another trick for applying powder foundation is to apply it in thin layers. Instead of doing one heavy pass over it, you just want to start sheer and then build your coverage up in areas where you need it, like the redness that I have on this area, my face, my chin. I'll add a little bit more product there to even out the skin tone. You don't want to apply the same amount over here that I am going to over here to cover this up. Okay, so let's apply some of this on my face. I think today I'm going to use the Super Stay from Maybelline. Again, this is the shade 128 if your skin tone is anything close to mine and you're interested in that. And I'm going to do, at least to start, half the face with a dense brush and the other half with the fluffier brush, so you can kind of see the difference of what I'm talking about as far as how that coverage is going to change depending on your application tool. So I'm just going in. It is a very delicate product. I'm just going to tap a little bit of the excess off. We'll do the dense brush on this side, and I start in the area where I need the most coverage because that's where more product is going to lay down. So that's where your brush is initially touching it. And you can see how I'm just kind of swirling and buffing out to the rest of my face. I'm kind of just gently, barely, I don't even want to say dragging it, but gently going across the under eye area to not apply too much product there, because I sure don't want those lines and bags emphasized. And just a little bit more up here. The other thing that I think is really great about powder foundation is the way that you can just take it right over your eyelid and it sets all your creams and skin prep nicely so that you have less risk of transfer from like mascara or eyeliner or things going around. Okay, so with, without, and now we're gonna go in on the without side with my more fluffy brush. Same technique for application where I'm just kind of trying to add a little bit more, sort of stamping it in on the redness area and then swirling it out to the rest of my cheek. One thing that I'm not sure if you can see right now or not, but right here in the middle of my nose is a chunk of the foundation, and that comes from the application with this. It's like it's not pressing it as hard into my skin, and therefore, I don't know if it just moves around easier or what, but okay, you see that that's something that has happened there. So you want to make sure you're looking for that and just dust that away if it does happen. So you can see the difference between the more dense brush application and the fluffier brush application. These two sections of redness on my face are virtually identical, so that's a really good area for you to be able to see the difference in coverage. And because I don't care for this sort of coverage level, especially in case I'm going to go anywhere today, I'd rather have it look a little more even. I'm going in with barely just a little bit over the top of what I did over here. And all I did was dip my brush in there once to kind of balance this out. Very lightly on the under eye. I know people are gonna cringe from that, but again, skin prep. Okay, so does this look dry and crusty at the moment? Yes. Am I gonna fix that? Yes. So there we are. Your basic crusty, dusty, boring, dry powder foundation application. Let me go finish the rest of my face off camera real quick, and I'll come back and show you how we're gonna make this look more like a regular liquid foundation finish and bring some life back to my face. Okay, the rest of the face is on. If you're curious, I just used the NARS Velarta Matte Bronzer, the Catrice Blush Affair, their Wonder Woman series. Love this blush so much. I'm gonna be really disappointed when I get all the way through it and can't get it anymore. Benefit Cookie Highlighter, which actually I think maybe I could use a smidge more. That's more better. And I also use this as a little bit of an eyeshadow just in the crease. And then the L'Oreal Panorama Voluminous Mascara and my lip. If you're wondering about this, a lot of people ask me, it's usually almost always Huda Beauty, and this is their Baby Face Cream Lipstick. This is my favorite. This is the lipstick that I will always buy like 2 or 3 backups of when they have them on sale, because I'm afraid they're gonna stop making it someday. It's the most perfect rosy brown nude. It just, chef's kiss for that. Now, let's bring this all together here with a really nice setting spray. I got the D'Alba setting spray. It's their first spray serum, hydrated and radiant skin. You guys, first of all, glass container, really classy, very nice. Shake it up a little bit and you're not gonna believe what this is gonna do. And you don't need to spend big money on something like this. This is a high-end product. You can easily get any kind of setting spray. Look for something that says it's gonna give you a glowy finish and you're gonna be in love. This one is just, it is a treat yourself thing, and I am so glad to have gotten it. It smells like you're at a spa. And look at the transformation. We have gone from powdery and dusty to glowing and gorgeous finish. I absolutely love this stuff so much. Highly recommend. If you're in the market for a new setting spray, you can use this as like a serum spray for your skincare. It smells like you've walked into a spa. It is wonderful. Okay, now back to some of the powder foundation like specifics. You want to make sure that you avoid anything like crow's feet or smile lines as far as putting too much product in that area. This goes right back to what I was talking about with application. Rather than buffing it in like I'm going to for the majority of my cheek, those are the areas that you just kind of want to gently tap and press into for coverage. You don't need to go crazy with the swirls and the whirls over that. As far as a bronzer, blush, or contour goes, you can absolutely even use a cream product over a powder foundation. I find that you just need to be a little bit more diligent with how you're buffing that into the skin and the way that you apply it so that you aren't doing like a straight on gob of a line. This is the time to take that cream product, apply it onto your skin first. I don't have a stick bronzer up here to show you, but pretend I do. Apply it onto your skin first, buff it out on the top of your hand, take the brush and apply it from there, and then gently dab it onto your foundation, and you will have zero problem with it. You're not going to take that product and be drawing those lines, those contour lines that you see everybody doing around your face over a powder foundation. That's going to lead to more of a challenging blend for you. But the same thing with the blush. You're just going to put a little bit on the top of your hand and then go in with the brush after the fact, dab around in that, get it nicely spread on there, and then dab it over the powder foundation, and it'll bring even more life to your skin. Like I said, today I used 2 powder products for that for me, and I think it looks lovely as is. Some of the mistakes that I see when it comes to using a powder foundation is applying too much product. Remember I said you want to start lightly and just go over the areas that you need a little extra coverage separately with that brush and buff in over it until you get coverage level that you're seeking. Applying it over dry skin, so not doing your appropriate skin prep The wrong brush choice is another one. If you're using something big and fluffy like this, that's just gonna kind of cattywampus put it all over wherever it wants to, you're not going to get that even coverage that we're all looking for when it comes to a foundation. And then also, you don't need to set powder foundation with finishing powder. So if you're doing powder over powder, unless you have like an issue where you've put on too much blush and you want to tone that down a little bit, then I would take a clean powder brush and just go over that and kind of dust some of it away. If that's not working and you need a little bit more, then you can take your initial application brush and just kind of go over it, and it'll sort of turn the volume down a little bit on what it is that you're trying to minimize. Ultimately, you don't need to add more powder on top of it. All the setting powder is doing is locking and setting in a liquid foundation and your liquid products that you're putting on top of it. Simply going over it with a setting spray that you like is going to be enough to set you in for the day, and I guarantee you my face will look like this 9 hours from now. Powder foundation can actually look better than liquid foundation on a few specific circumstances. If it's a hot and humid day, I'm probably going to go with a powder foundation if I feel like I need to wear any at all, because honestly, in those conditions, a liquid foundation just feels like it melts off my face and it's not going to set in, and then going over with more setting powder on top of it kind of starts sticking to areas where I'm sweaty, and it's just a no-go for me. If I have a long work day ahead of me, or I need a routine where it's going to be touch-up friendly and I'm not going to have access to my sponge and foundation to start all over, this is so simple and easy to just bring my powder foundation and my brush with me, and I can dab in wherever I'm at and touch up a little bit of coverage. Like if I've been rubbing my nose, you can make that look perfect again in 2 seconds flat. I think it's important to have a realistic expectation about what you're going to get from a powder foundation. It's not going to erase texture on your skin, and that's okay. We're human. We aren't AI images running around here, perfectly clear skin, smooth. It's normal for skin to move. I am going to be able to make faces, which I do a lot during the day, raise my eyebrow at somebody. Things are gonna move around a little bit and sort of shift, and I find that with powder foundation, it is more forgiving for that movement and, like, I don't wanna say like sort of settling back in. It's very obvious if I'm going like this for an extended period of time and I pull away and have liquid foundation on my fingertip, and then you can see the mark that is left on my cheek. Our goal here when we're putting on a base makeup layer is even tone, not perfection. And you can absolutely make a powder foundation look polished, glowy, beautiful finish, and slay the day away. I hope this helped answer some questions that you have. If there's anything that I haven't touched on and you're curious about, leave a comment below and I will get back with you. This and any kind of foundation I throw at it, any of these, it's perfection. Now this looks really nice over a regular foundation too. I've tried that, but it is a game changer for powder foundation. Again, it's the D'Alba First Spray Serum. If you need to take a screenshot, do it. It says it's got white truffle in it from Italy. Like, I didn't know I needed that on my face, but apparently I do. Make sure you guys click like and subscribe. Stick around for my next video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.